so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No, 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 no. It's never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. Until then, nope, a nope, a nope, a nope. Definitely nope, a nope, nope, a nope. Probably never, ever, 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 ever gonna happen. Oh no.
All right. We are having technical difficulties, which is nothing new for me. I'm having to control everything manually off of OBS instead of using my Stream Deck. So, yeah, that's annoying as hell. Okay. Hi, it is Sunday night and it is Pixel Erasure Teams, which means that we've got four goats and their pet human, and we're here in Azeroth, and we're going to be running some dungeons in order to do some leveling, so that'll be fun. I do a holiday of the day, and of course, a lot of people here in the U.S. understand that it is Groundhog Day. And yeah, I do a holiday of the day, and everyone understands here in the U.S. that it is Groundhog Day. And I'm not going to say that again. It's a joke, and if you don't get it, yeah, okay. Anyway, one of my favorite movies, by the way.
And again and again.
It
was a brilliant movie.
It was an annoying movie, but it was fun anyway. So I wanted to let you know that Poxitani Phil?
Poxitani Phil.
Yeah, Poxitani Phil over in Philadelphia, over in Pennsylvania somewhere. Yeah, he ended up seeing his shadow, and therefore we're due for another 6 months of winter, or 6 weeks of winter, not months. It just feels like months. That's the way it is.
No, this one is, they've renamed the varmint. It's now George R.R. Martin. And it's forever saying winter is coming.
Winter is coming, yes. Winter is staying. Unbeknownst to me, apparently Alaska threw a hissy fit over the fact that groundhogs were getting all the love. So they also declared today as being Marmot Day. And so, yeah, today is also Marmot. So go find a Marmot out in Alaska somewhere, give it a hug. And Hedgehog Day is today as well.
Well, their state is not as old as Groundhog Day, so I don't understand what the problem is.
Yeah, they just threw a hissy fit. They wanted to be included in it. And they said, we don't have any groundhogs, so we'll just like throw a marmot out.
Well, we don't have groundhogs in Colorado either, and we have
marmots here in California.
Yeah.
We got varmints here.
Yeah, we got all kinds of critters all over the place. So anyway, Hedgehog Day, Marmot Day, and Groundhog Day. Let's move on.
We don't have hedgehogs either. Nobody does, except people in Africa and people in Britain.
Yeah, well, hedgehogs, they're cuddly, but you don't want to. So, because they'll get you if you cuddle them. Yeah. All right. It's been a moment since we've all gotten together. Last week, Kurt was actually traveling for business, so we weren't able to stream. So we're at 73 and we're doing, or 72-ish, 70 to 72, somewhere in there. I didn't hear, did Cory get on?
Nope, I don't see him. I thought he got onto BattleNet, but I don't see him in there.
Okay, all right.
Nope, he's been offline for 7 hours.
7
Somebody
hours?
want to ping him?
Yeah,
I'll ping him.
He said he
did say he was going to be here.
Yeah.
I'll go over to the chat and I'll ping him.
He might have lied. I don't know.
Well,
no. Misremembered, maybe. Alternative dates.
If he didn't want to hang out with us enough, he wouldn't lie about it. He's
yeah.
not that kind of person. He would be like, "You losers suck," and I'm out of here.
I keep telling myself that, but there I am when I wake up.
I just pinged him too, so. All right. I made the mistake of, I posted some stuff on the auction house, and then I forgot to take it off of 48 hours, so I don't want to waste any more money on auction house. I'm down to 6 gold on this character. It's like I can't afford I can't. Well, that's what happens when you train on stuff. It's like, oh, I got to train on this and got to train on that, and it's like, boom, I have no.
So did you go check the guild bank for some money?
I did not check the guild bank for money, but I
put money in there for anybody that needed it.
Well, thank you. I'll take out a loan and fill in
I
the
got my own
application and
money.
everything.
Yeah,
I did I bought a WoW token and I sold it, so I have money.
Yeah, I should
It was
probably do
$20,
that.
and I said, "The heck with it." Why? Because I've already done all this. I don't feel the need to grind it out this time.
So I'm following WoW professions in order to level my different stuff that I've got, enchanting and tailoring. And I'm at the point where I'm supposed to be enchanting a shield. And so he better come on, because I need to enchant his shield a few times so I can level my enchanting. I ended up having to buy one of those rods I was talking about making, because there was no way I was going to find the materials and be able to like put it together and everything. I've got a 30 level discrepancy between my mining tune and this guy now, so it's just not going to happen.
The mining tune ought to be far enough ahead by now.
My mining tune?
He's playing more than this game. He plays Final Fantasy and SWTOR and retail.
I was kidding.
WoW.
This was the joke, was that the mining tune is behind, and I said the mining tune ought to be ahead far enough by now.
Oh, okay. He's a miner.
I don't get it. Oh, he's a miner? Is that what the joke is? Okay.
Yeah, he is a miner.
Never mind.
Well, that's
Never
okay.
Mind.
Yeah. So that's my.
I didn't get it.
No, don't worry about it. But yeah, I think I played World of Warcraft for 2 hours this week. And that was because on Thursday, Star Wars was down. And so I had to figure out something else to do. It's like, oh crap, I'm online and I can't log into Star Wars. So it's like, okay. But yeah, I went in and I ended up doing some transmog runs with DAG. And yeah. But I didn't go on this game. I went on the retail game.
Well, I am going to switch to Hunter for my main this coming season, so I've never mained a Hunter before, and this is gonna be the time.
I saw you guys playing on Saturday night, and I almost stopped in, except I promised wifey I would watch some stuff with her. So.
Mm-hmm. No,
anyway.
I didn't play on Saturday night. I logged on for a little bit and did some Lunar Festival stuff, and then I logged off and played SWTOR.
If I was on at all, I was just out there with my hunter collecting shit for make potions with.
Yeah, I didn't log in. I mean, I haven't run delves for probably a month on any of my tunes over on retail. And so I've got one tune that's over 520 right now, and I need to keep pounding on her, but I'm not on very often to do it. So, and then I haven't even finished the main quest line, all the storyline for the expansion yet with her. So it's like, okay, Soggy, I got to get Soggy out of retirement and get busy with stuff. So, but yeah. Anyway, I have been playing a lot of Star Wars. That's because it's been easy to play Star Wars while I'm sitting watching TV.
Huh.
Yes, we are multitasking laziness.
That's very true. Very, very true. Wifey's like, are you enjoying your gaming time? And I said, yeah, because I've been through this particular storyline a few times, so it's like I know what I'm doing. And Priest Dude the Kingslayer. There's a Draenei sitting next to me here in Stormwind. No word from Cory yet.
Nope.
No, that's a statement, yeah. Hope nothing happened.
Yeah, I hope he's okay.
Yeah. He intended to be here, so.
All right. Let's see. Is there anything that we can do, just the four of us, or we probably
I
shouldn't
mean,
because
PvP.
yeah, I mean Cory's the furthest one back on as far as level. We probably shouldn't do anything with our mains.
Well, let's give him a while. I'll just work on my professions a little bit while we're waiting.
Okay.
Do you guys have any Borean leather? Maybe I'll just fish.
I think there's Borean
Yeah,
leather.
I used all the Borean leather on my leatherworking alt.
Well, that's the leather that I need right now, but I have some fishing I can do, so I will
think
So where do you-
fish.
I think there's a
Where do you
stack in
pick-
the.
I think I took the stack out of the guild vault.
Oh, just now? Because I saw it like.
No, earlier.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw a stack in the vault, but that's okay.
Okay, here's a question: Borean leather is which region? That's Northrend, right?
Northrend.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. And I will just pop over onto my hunter and go kill things up there for a while. And then if Cory gets here, I'll pop back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
I
moved
will
over.
just go and fish.
Yeah, I just took my miner out. Oh, nope.
You guys
I don't
are
know
always
who that
messing
is.
around with miners.
Hey now, be careful.
Let's see. It is tough to level the skinning when you're really only doing dungeons together. I'm lagging on the skinning a little bit. I wonder if I can get away with going to a warmer area. I don't think I can do that. Poop.
Poopadoop?
I should have gotten a second production profession because it's so difficult to actually get the leather, and just gotten one of my alts to get the leather for me.
Yeah, I have
Probably what I should have done.
I've got my hunter for doing leather work as well, but he's not anywhere close to being able to get that stuff.
Okay, Borean leather. That's over there.
Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
Those two is. No, I refuse to go with honor. Yeah.
I don't even know where the hell I am. I'm just looking for ore tomorrow.
Where am I?
Well, I went to like the far end of I'm at Iron Tree Clearing, wherever the hell that is.
You in Fellwood?
Yeah, I'm in Fellwood, which is slightly higher than my tune, but not so bad that I can't maneuver around. I'm just looking for any ore. There's some.
They should definitely have an ore called either.
Either or,
Yeah.
neither nor.
Yep, either or, neither nor.
Kurt, did you notice the other day when I sent you a text along with Bob's your uncle, I put in parentheses right after it, surely
Surely he's,
Bjorn Strong in the
yeah.
arm is my
in
uncle.
the arm is my uncle. Yeah. Yes.
You didn't respond to it, so I wanted to make sure you saw it.
Yeah. I don't always respond to emails, but when I do, it's usually with a pun.
That's just from Discworld. There's a character called Constable Carrot. He is he's a human, but he was adopted by dwarves. As a little baby, and so he has dwarfish mannerisms, and in Discworld, dwarfs don't understand metaphor and allegory, and they just don't understand that at all. They don't get it. So there's a time when somebody's who is it that's talking to Constable Carrot? Is it Nobby?
It's
Knob?
almost.
I think so.
It's either going to be Knobs or Colon.
Yeah, one of the other officers has talked to him and telling him they're going to go do something, and then he says, and then Bob's your uncle. And he said, surely Bjorn Strong in the arm is my uncle. And so, because they're very literal, so every time I say
Yes.
Bob's your uncle, Kurt responds with, but surely Bjorn Strong in the arm is my uncle. And I say, yes, I know. I read it as well. I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit dizzy because cold medicine, so just expect that there won't be a straight line thinking today. It's not gonna happen. How do I get to Borean Tundra from here now that we're in Cataclysm? Do I still take the boat or do I go in the
Yes.
It's a
tower?
boat,
I
yeah.
can't remember.
So
It's
I
a
have to take
boat.
the
If you go down to the docks, you can just. There's a guy there who will teleport you, so you don't have to wait.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
And either the left or the right one will get you there.
Oh, here. It's not a guy, it's a lady.
Okay.
Well, she had a deep voice.
No, she
And
has
a
a high
beard.
voice. No, she's wearing a fishing cap and fishing trousers. So I guess you guys just thought it's a dude. She's not even like cross-dressing. She's
That
just fishing.
dude looks like a lady.
I need a target.
She's just fishing. So, okay. Go to Valiant's Keep in Borean Tundra and learn Grandmaster cooking from Rollick McCreel. Okay, I know where he is. Hello, Rollick McCreel. Uh-oh, he wants northern stew. Does anybody have chilled meat?
On another two.
I will in a few minutes.
Yeah,
I
my
need
stew is
3
all
chilled
warm.
meats.
You don't have to take that quest in order to train up.
Really?
Yeah, just ask
Ah.
him.
Well, I need to learn it to make the food.
Well, if you
No,
train
he-
up, there'll be a whole bunch of new recipes.
He won't offer me any additional training until I have that recipe. So
Huh, I just went out there. And
I think
did-
the recipe makes you level up. So what I'm gonna have to do is get on my bank tune and go buy a bunch of chilled meat. That's what's gonna go on.
Chill out, lady.
Yeah, I had to fly back to Zangermarsh and do some fishing because my cooking level isn't high enough. I gotta get up to 350.
Yeah, I'm using the WoW Professions cooking with fishing guide, and
Yeah.
I don't know why my fishing got ahead of my cooking for some reason. I don't
A lot
know
easier
exactly what
to
happened
do.
there. Yeah, I don't know what I did because I was following this guide. I must have just overfished at some point.
Overfishing is
Oh, I'll
bad for the
drink my
fishery.
yummy licorice tea.
You ever heard of tea pig?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's a brand of tea. They make,
It is?
yes, they make licorice and peppermint tea.
Huh, tea pig.
I've heard of
Tea
whistle
pig?
pig.
Yep,
Whistle
same.
pig. That's what we call. That's what they call prairie dogs. Although I had never heard that term until we did the prairie dogs episode on the cast that I used to do. I
Huh.
never knew that we called them whistle pigs. I'd never heard it before.
I'd never
my-
heard about that until I started drinking their rye.
Whistle pig. I think whistle pig is a great name for a prairie dog.
Do they whistle?
Smart little dudes. They do. They're super smart, you know.
I can't do that yet.
They're sort of creepily smart, actually.
Need more rage.
They can tell the difference between human faces. And
Really?
they can tell between human clothing. There's been a bunch of tests done on them that
Ability isn't ready.
basically people came up and acted like an enemy wearing a certain color of sweater, and the pigs told their relatives all about that person, and then that person was remembered when they came back, and everybody ran away. It's a big study. You should look it up. It was
Ah.
pretty interesting. And when they dig their burrows, they make bathrooms. There's a special room where you go to do the bathroom things, and then they don't bathroom in the rest of the warren or whatever it's called.
Well, that makes sense.
They're
well, want to
really
live in that,
smart.
you know? Yeah.
Well, I know, but you wouldn't think. Some animals don't care. Some animals are like, whatever, and then just, you know.
That's true.
But they build a
Some
special
animals are
room.
not
They're
equipped
like,
for
this
indoor
is the
living."
bathroom. Yeah,
That ability isn't ready yet.
there was a lot about them that was pretty special, I thought. They're really neat. They were calling them the peel and eat shrimp of nature.
Ability isn't
They really are the banquet of like dozens of animals. It's crazy. And
So
so
are they
I'm not
tasty?
surprised. They're very good at. I bet they are to other animals. I've never eaten one, but I mean, all sorts of birds of prey eat them. Foxes, coyotes even eat them. Gosh, I can't even think of a predator that wouldn't eat a prairie dog if they could get a hold of one.
I'll bet
So.
snakes do too.
Probably. Yep.
Wolf
I
'em
would
down.
imagine.
Yeah, well,
No
yeah,
wonder
the
they're
funny
really
thing
good
is,
at spotting an enemy, right? So.
prairie dogs have the typical rodent survival strategy, which is make lots.
Make a lot of babies. That's how you do it.
Right.
Make a lot of babies. Let's make some babies. Lots of babies. And they take care of each other's babies. They have like the aunties and uncles and stuff will all take care of the babies, which is pretty cool.
Can't do that yet.
This flight takes forever.
Forever.
Where are you flying to?
The other side of Northrend.
Makes you really miss. Well, you don't because you're not playing retail. But if you were, you would miss your dragon riding when you're trying to cross a continent. Because man, can you cross a continent fast with that dragon riding stuff? Amazing.
I haven't tried to go across Northrend in retail yet. That'd be kind of interesting.
I've gone everywhere because I did lunar festival stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really neat to have the dragon riding. Faster than the taxi by a long shot. It's really strange.
Yes, but with the taxi.
Because
you
I'm
can
used to
go-
the taxi being like pretty fast, you know?
Yeah, but with the taxi you can go pee.
Yes, I did take the taxi when I wanted to get up and go to the bathroom or go AFK for whatever reason. But it's nice to have the choice. You have the opportunity to go.
Not enough rage.
Oh, there's Lunar Festival here on this server as well. Well, how about that? Maybe I'll
Lunar
go check it
service
out.
everywhere.
festival. The Looney Festival.
That ability isn't
This
ready.
licorice tea is really good. And the nice thing about it is it doesn't need sweetener. Licorice root is already pretty sweet, so unnecessary. So yeah, you don't have to dragon ride. You can now. They have a spell now. You can switch between dragon riding and just regular flying, and
Yes.
it's a. Of course, there are people complaining that the spell is a second and a half long or whatever it is, which is stupid.
People complain about everything. It's just like, yeah,
They will
whatever.
find a reason to complain about absolutely everything.
Yeah.
That's what I think people. That's what people are, is devices where you put in food and get back complaints.
Pretty much.
Someone got a coin of ancestry.
Monica said she was having a really great time playing WoW again after taking a long break, but nobody else seems to, because when she goes to the forums, there's nothing but complaints. And I was like, well, I think it's mostly just people don't write about stuff when they like it. They should, but the only time they ever get on the forums is when they have a problem.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is, if you put out something you like, then people who have got nothing better to do in their life but bitch will attack you for liking something. But the reverse is not true.
Not ready yet.
That was a long ass flight.
Not ready yet. I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
And then let's pick up another flight point while I am here.
That ability isn't ready yet.
What's really annoying about this particular flight point is you literally have to fly past it and then come back to it.
Not ready yet. I can't do that yet.
Wonder what happened to Cory.
Probably forgot. Either he's having problems with his computer.
He might be having problems with the computer.
That ability isn't ready yet.
Yeah, but you probably would hear back from him on the note.
I need to target something.
Well, he said he was going to be here, so something must be going wrong.
He probably just
I
forgot.
can't do that.
It's all right.
Did you ping his personal email or
No,
his personal chat or?
I need a
Yeah,
target.
I did.
I can't carry any more of those.
I just pinged him myself.
Have I killed enough of these guys? Yes, I have. Good.
Oop.
Oop, I didn't want to do that. Where'd my weapon go? There.
Let's see.
Ah, the spiders give Borean leather. And chitin for some reason.
Chitin, huh? All right, where do I have to go to? That's Badlands. Bellwood. Dixie's Key. Show it to me. It is where I just came from. Oh, I thought I had that already. You mean I gotta kill this guy a second time? Lovely.
I will kill you a second time. Fear me, if you dare.
I was running around trying to kill these Fellwood beasties out here, and it's like, oh, okay. I'll just kill the chieftain while I'm at it. And, yeah.
Now you got to do it again.
I gotta do
Yeah, you
it
got a
again because I
quest.
didn't have the quest.
That
Apparently.
ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet. That ability
Uh-oh.
isn't ready yet.
This doesn't look good.
Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready
Yeah.
yet. I can't do that.
3 of them on me.
Not ready yet. That ability
Yikes.
isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't
Oh,
do
shit.
that yet. That ability isn't ready
Now I
Die?
got 5 on me. including the blood mob chieftain that I was supposed to come down in here and kill to begin with. All
Run
right.
away!
Like you're
run
doing
away.
well.
I am going to die. Prepare
Or
to
do that.
die. Yes,
Run away.
I did, but not very far. And
Uh-oh.
not very quickly with 4 of these guys on me.
Run away.
That was oops.
You're a zombie, you're a zombie, you're a
did.
spider.
I did manage to kill 2 of them. That's good. Okay, is this the guy I need to kill? Yes, it is. Let me eat some food.
I have to go to the dentist tomorrow. Ugh.
Come be a dentist.
I have to get my teeth x-rayed so I can find out how many cavities and root canals are in my future. And they stopped using the nitrous at my office. They only do the sedation pill. So that means that I have to have somebody come and get me to take me home instead of hopping on the lift myself or whatever. So I hate that because I don't like the sedation pill. It takes longer to wear off. The nitrous is like in and out. It's out of your system within 15 minutes. I bet it's just gotten really unaffordable is probably why they did it. Don't know for sure, I'm just guessing.
Okay, now I've got the key. Think I'll go
But
on
it
the
does
other
mean
side.
that I can't have any procedures except on Kurt's day off. Like, we have a car.
And you wouldn't be driving those days anyway.
No, but I can't make an appointment. I can't if they have an appointment available that's not on your day off, then I can't take it. Because
Well,
of
you
this
can. I just
stupid
got to take. Means I got to
sedative.
take a day off.
Yeah, well, it's irritating and annoying all the way around then, isn't it?
I expect everything to be irritating and annoying. It's like
It's a modum
everything
operandi.
anything that is not irritating or annoying is by definition suspicious.
Things are not supposed to be going as planned. Why are they?
Well, something must have happened because normally he answers my text messages pretty quickly. If he was forgot or ran late, he should be answering by now. So I would guess that for whatever reason something happened and he's not available.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Because he would have answered by now, I think.
so I
The
guess
only thing we can really do together is PvP.
yeah,
Yuck.
not fond of PvP.
We could get on some alts and do some Lunar Festival stuff, I guess.
Higher.
But really, that's
well,
just
I don't have any
flying
higher
from
alts.
point to point.
All I have are lower alts. All right. Well, like I said, I'm just out here farming, and
That's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm collecting borean leather.
I'm collecting mithril right now. Or true silver. Or
We
both.
could just chat and level our professions.
That's what I'm doing.
And I leveled while I'm doing professions. Woohoo. Level 48.
It won't make the most exciting stream ever, but you know,
No,
it's
I've-
also stuff that has to be done.
Yeah.
I think I've killed every spider here.
You know what game I've been playing a lot lately that I really like, and it's really stupid and surprising? We have a VR rig. We have one of those MetaQuest. I have the MetaQuest 2 VR rig, and I got a game called Power Wash, and it is exactly what it says on the tin. You have a power washer, and you go and you power wash things, and it is the most relaxing,
Really?
best game ever. You just listen to a podcast or something and sit there and just power wash dirt off of things. And you earn money from the jobs that you get to get better power washers and better nozzles and cleaning supplies and equipment and just dumb crap like that.
There
And they
is...
put in like a whole little story behind each thing. Somebody will be like, you'll get an email like, oh, so and so said you did a really good job cleaning up their patio. I have a motorcycle I need cleaned or whatever. And you're like, okay, I'll go clean your motorcycle. It's
There's
a
a
very
guy-
dumb game. And I
There's
like
a guy on Facebook that does ASMR carpet cleaning.
Oh,
And
I've seen him.
not the carpet,
Or I've seen somebody like him.
rug cleaning, right? It's not carpet,
Yeah.
carpet, but yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
they're a Oriental rug, some sort of an Oriental rug that's been extremely dirty for whatever reason, and they clean it, and it's an ASMR thing.
Yeah, but I mean,
If there's more than one channel, I'd be really surprised, but I love that channel.
My good
yeah,
sister.
I find myself watching it on occasion. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go blind if I keep watching this. I need to stop.
But don't you sit there and go, when is it gonna be clean? How many
kinda-
passes is it gonna take?
Yeah, well, he had one the other day. It's like you could tell. I've seen the rug in real life, like when I saw it in a store one time, so I knew what the rug looked like. New, and it was like white, and it had raised dots of color on it. And,
Oh my gosh.
and the whole thing was like black. You could see the raised dots because they
Oh,
were
no.
raised, but the entire
Yeah.
rug was like black. And
Oh my gosh.
this guy, it was like a 30-minute stream or 30-minute video that he had. And I don't know how many go-overs he had to do in order to get it to work, but man, it was crazy. But he got it
There
done.
are some ridiculously fun YouTube channels that you would never have thought, like your television executives would never have gone, you know what people want to watch is people cleaning rugs for hours at a time.
Yeah.
But they do. They do.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's
Pete,
just-
do you still need some chilled meat?
Nope, I'm good. I got it. I just went to the auction house and bought
Oh.
it with my WoW token money.
All right, I just
My ill-gotten gains.
change tunes, so I was able to hit the bank. All right.
Oh, well, thank you, but I don't need it. Let me know if you need it, because I think I bought too much. There is a daily quest that you can do that requires it.
Yeah, no,
And
I've
it
got
give you some
something
rep,
like
I think.
I got something like 80 in the bank. So
Chilled meats.
I'm trying to see what I need
Let's
for
talk
my
about our favorite
profession.
YouTube channels. I like a channel called Midwest Magic Cleaning. And this is a man who has his own cleaning company. And what his channel is he just cleans hoarder houses and depression houses where people have just not cleaned because they got cancer or whatever. And he has autism.
Yeah.
And this is sort of way he entertains himself. He loves cleaning. It really makes him peaceful in his mind. And so he cleans these houses for free to help people sort of get a step ahead on their mental health
Yeah.
journey. Hoarding is like, boy, that's a terrible thing to happen. And it happens to people mostly when somebody they know has died, that they've, so like usually a partner or something, a spouse, somebody will die, and it just sends them for such a shock that they don't do what they need to do to keep their home
Right.
clean anymore. And then the other thing that happens is people get really sick, usually with cancer. And then there's a certain point where it seems to us like it would be
Good luck, friend.
at a certain point you'd go, oh my God, this has to change, but it doesn't. At a certain point it becomes normal and it starts to be safe, and you start to feel unsafe if you throw anything away. And so, I mean, I'm not trying to laugh because it's funny. It's funny because human brains are so delicate in some
Right.
ways, you know?
Right.
The people who experience this is a terrible tragedy, but it is ridiculous how human brains are, because any one of us could become a hoarder if the wrong circumstances were to happen. I learned a ton about it on that channel because he talks about it now and then. But people will chat him. They'll put comments on his videos like, "Well, I would have just, taken a dump truck or whatever. I would have taken a steam shovel and just leveled the place or whatever." People making dumb comments, and he's like, "Well, first of all, you wouldn't have done anything because you haven't done anything. Second of all, that's not the way you do this." He's explained how to clean a hoarder house, and you really do have to go in levels. You can't just get like a snow shovel and start from the bottom,
Right.
because there's first of all, it's hazardous. Second of all, you want to try to save the things that the people might find important to them after they get some therapy. Like, you want to save as many of their personal items as you can, right? And you're helping them deal with their mental illness that they've gotten through no fault of their own. and yeah, it's a really great channel. Love that channel. I actually subscribe to that channel. I love it so much. So it's a really great thing. But his YouTube, he handed his cleaning business over to his son, and his son runs and manages his main cleaning business. And the YouTube channel's been so successful that he is able to use that alone to pay for cleaning these houses.
That's
And he said,
that's crazy.
it's crazy, and it's such a great service. He said that these houses can be $5,000 to $10,000 to get them cleaned professionally. So it's not a small thing he's doing.
No. But it
Anyway,
helps him.
that's a Midwest Magic Cleaning.
Right.
It's a great guy, great channel. If anybody's listening, they should check it out.
There's a guy
What's
that
the
also
name of
does.
the carpet channel?
I'll have to look it up.
Find out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll find out. There's also a guy that does cleanup of front yards for abandoned homes.
Oh,
Have you seen that
I
one
think I've
too?
seen him. I think
Yeah.
I think he is. I think the Midwest Magic Cleaning guy said to look at his channel, and I can't remember what
okay.
it's called.
Yeah,
But yes,
I don't remember what it's called either, but he goes out there, he goes, he checks and sees what's, every once in a while cops get called on him and stuff, and he'll talk to them. He says, no, I'm not doing this for profit. I just do this because it's a service, right? It's the neighborhood, and the neighborhood, everybody here benefits from having all the houses looking kind of sharp and stuff. So that's why I'm doing it. And every once in a while, people just like come unglued on the guy. It's like, why? But yeah, that's
How
the way
dare
it is.
you clean things up?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it happens.
You should find the name of the channels that we're talking about so we
Yeah,
can put a link to
I'll have to
them.
hunt them down. But yeah, people might like those. So I will find them.
The other cleaning channel I like is Clean with Barbie.
Yeah.
She's a lady who's from Hungary, and she does the worst. She said she doesn't do hoarder houses. She does depression houses, which are frequently some of the nastiest and filthiest because it's not just hoarding objects. It's actually like not cleaning toilets and, you know, like somebody who's that sick. But anyway, she's really neat. She's a Hungarian lady living in New York. She's pretty fantastic. Clean with Barbie. And what else? Oh, I love traveling. Trent the Traveler. Trent the Traveler is a guy who, it's him and his doggy, and they just travel around in his van. He lives in his van, but it's like super cool. It's a nice built out. He's got a kitchen and a gaming rig and all this kind of stuff. He's a cute young man with a cute dog. I was watching one of his videos at my parents' house when I visited over the summer, and my dad goes, well, is it the young man or the dog? And I was like, it's both.
That's a silly question, Dad.
The dog is so cute. Oh my gosh. Her name is Millie. She's a little pit bull, and she's just the most cheerful little dog in the universe. She's a sweetie. Trent the Traveler, that's what he's called. And I like a channel called Cheap RV Living, which is this guy that it just teaches you how to live in your car or a van or an RV or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Some people get
I've seen
so...
I've seen that one, yeah.
Yeah, some people get so down on their luck that all they've got left is their car and a couple of dollars. And they can go look at his channel and learn how to be happy with that circumstance, and they end up being able to find little ways to make money, and then they upgrade their vehicles, and there's a whole community of people out there that live that way, which says something about our country, but never mind.
Yeah, not going there.
That's a really, really good channel, and he does a lot of charity work for the Homes on Wheels Alliance, who will help people get set up in their own car or van or whatever. So if you have a car to donate, a vehicle of any kind, that's the place to go and donate it, because you could be providing a house for somebody that needs it.
Let's see, I'm
what else?
looking up.
Oh, I like this guy called Dagonet Gaming.
Yeah.
He does this.
I've heard of him.
And on Tuesdays, he levels this monk in Final Fantasy called Chad Fist.
Oh God,
And his
you
videos
guys
are pretty good.
You don't want me to get started on what happened this past Tuesday. I've been having issues with my streaming ever since. So currently, we're only streaming to Twitch, and even then, it's not working very well. So I'm sitting there. I was talking to wifey about the fact that I've got all the things I need in order to rebuild, or not rebuild, but to put my new computer together, but I don't want to do it until I have a clean space to put it in.
Yeah, right.
So she's like, okay.
Yeah, well, my one thing, the only toy I've got that I've actually used for most of my life is this 3D printer.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, once I got this thing, I'm like, oh, this is cool. Now, for some reason, it's decided that the LCD screen has failed, and I have to figure out why and whether it can be fixed, or whether I have to replace the screen or replace the machine.
Right.
which are two separate things. And I'm not looking forward to that. I've been kind of slowly taking it apart and putting it and cleaning it bit by bit because there's only so much I can handle.
So, what channels do you like to watch on YouTube, Kurt?
I mean, most of the stuff I watch isn't really, I watch a lot of, geez, I can't even think of anything in particular that I watch a lot of.
You watch a lot of 3D printing videos and miniature painting videos.
Not that many, actually. I mean, there's something called Dear Modern, which I think is kind of fun. It's a guy that does feng shui for people with really small houses.
Oh, that's fun.
It's like, okay, feng shui is, it's bullshit in terms of its philosophy, but in terms of placing your furniture, it's got some good ideas.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't hate yourself, learn feng shui, and hate the furniture. Um,
I watch a lot of tiny house channels too. Tiny house living and stuff like
but I
that.
watch The Casual Criminalist, which is a true crime podcast that doesn't deal in messing with crimes that haven't been solved, or it deals with like old crimes and the weird stuff that happened with them and that kind of thing. So
But
they're not
no
like
poking around in other people's business and being annoying to the police detectives and stuff.
right, yeah. This is strictly. I mean, some of the researchers talk to old. They know policemen because of their jobs, and what they do is they go and talk to them. But it's
Right.
usually like this guy was on this case for 20 years and then he retired.
Right.
Now I'm going to talk to him.
That's better than because some of that other stuff can be pretty horrible for the families and stuff.
Yeah, they're not bugging anybody like that, and they're not encouraging anyone to do so.
Yeah, that's good.
I watch that one when I'm painting because it gives me a pretty good timer of how long I'm going to be painting for. Before my hands and eyes get tired.
Right.
I rewatch. I think I've watched every one of Irving Finkel's lectures about a dozen times.
Yeah, that would be the British History Museum.
Well, he
channel.
goes all over the place. I mean, it's like I just look up Irving
Yeah.
Finkel and he's like on 12 different podcasts.
Yep.
And they're very similar talks. They're not exactly the same. And there's always some new detail.
No, he's always got something else to say, something new to say.
Yeah. So,
he's about 800 years old. He's the best. He's the most wonderfully old man ever. He's got like a long white beard and spectacles and a really cool British accent, and he will go crazy talking about Mesopotamian stuff and how it's just pretty amazing. He's a really cool guy.
He's one of those. He can actually read cuneiform fluently.
Yep.
That's how he got started.
Yep.
Actually, his story was the story he's told multiple times. So I feel safe telling it. Is that he went to the British Museum, or not to the British Museum, but he went to the university in Britain, and he said he really wanted to deal with a really hard language, and so he wanted to study Egyptian hieroglyphs, but he got there on the first day and found out the teacher had died, and they said Egyptologists are very hard to come by, and it's not likely going to hire one anytime soon. But we've got this cracking cuneiform class that you can take. And he went in there, and they did in fact have a cracking cuneiform class, and he got interested in that, and he's been doing it ever since. But he was one of the guys. One of the things I like about him is, contrary to a lot of people, he always gives credit where it's due. He goes out of his way to find out, to make sure that the people who did the thing get the credit for it.
Yeah.
There was a piece he found. Yeah, well, he was working. He worked with a woman. She took some cuneiform classes from him, And she decided she wanted more, so she became a volunteer at the British Museum, sorting out bits of clay tablet. And she was looking for things that looked unusual, not just like a symbol or two here or there. And she pulled out a piece, and she said, that looks really interesting. I bet you they're going to want to see that. And it turned out to be a crucial missing piece for the oldest known map of the world.
Yep.
Wow.
We've been expecting.
And it was a map that was not what you would call cartographically accurate.
No.
But it was, it was their perception of the world and where everything was in it, including the location 3,000 years before Moses of where the Ark of the Covenant, where the Ark of the Ark of the Flood had landed. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is it's Noah's Ark is actually a story from the Epic of Gilgamesh.
It's actually way earlier than that.
Story.
Yeah, it was adopted into the Epic of Gilgamesh, but the oldest version is way older than that.
Oh, is it? What's it from?
It's basically its own piece.
Right.
And they incorporated it into the legend Epic of Gilgamesh because they were going to borrow all the best stuff for that.
Yeah. Yep.
But it was well known to them by that point because they included it in their map of the world, and they included it in the Epic of Gilgamesh. And
Mesopotamian history is something you always have to be ready to be updated on because it changes every year, literally. because the things that get translated every year can change the whole map. Because when I was looking at it 10 years ago, I used to really be into Mesopotamian history. No, but not 10 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, probably.
Everything was 10 years ago.
When you're our age. No, it was much longer ago than that, but I would say 20 or 30 years ago. The oldest thing that anybody knew about was the Epic of Gilgamesh, but Kurt's been studying it a lot more recently, like this last couple of years, and I've given him a couple of my books, but it's all updated. There's a whole bunch more information from there was 30 years ago. It's pretty amazing.
I can never remember the pronunciation thing because in the story of the map, he mentions that up on if you climb this one mountain, this is what the story of the map said. Basically, the map it was written out as a set of not only was it a picture, but there was like a set of directions on the back of it. And one of them was you find this thing that looks like and I keep wanting to say Pikachu, but it's not that. It's a P something vessel. You will see the outline of this vessel. And that, he said, makes his ears prick up because the original, the earliest version of the flood myth and the Ark, it was called that word. And he said that word only appears in two places in Sumerian in cuneiform writing, and one of them is the flood myth, and the other one is it parked on the top of this mountain, which is the cognate for Mount Ararat.
Mm-hmm. But I think that what they're looking at is just a geological feature anyway, but it's not.
Well, for as far as the
fact
Babylonian,
is it's a geological feature, but they would have thought something else, right?
Well, the Babylonian map was not intended to be taken literally.
No.
You can't take it literally because the two rivers that surround the world go in a perfect circle.
But that's where biblical scholars got their idea about that thing on Mount Ararat.
Oh yeah, they definitely borrowed the whole thing from the Mesopotamians.
Yeah.
But the Mesopotamians,
because all that stuff about going up to Mount Ararat to look for the Ark that happened in the 60s, I think. That all happened at about the same time these documents were first getting translated. So.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people, particularly in that religion, that simply doesn't. That simply do not want to acknowledge that it's the story they've heard. They were told in Bible school is wrong.
Well, but we should we should be really quick to remind ourselves, though, that it is the biblical scholars that were looking for these things that discovered all this other stuff. And they were, at the time in the 1960s and 70s, extremely quick to go, hey, that's not what we found. And this is what we found. So,
All right, I'm not
regardless
talking.
of, yeah.
I mean, some of my favorite things biblical, or I should say, very religious scholars have done was it was a religious scholar who gave the name the Big Bang to the Big Bang.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because he thought it was a stupid idea. He said, if you follow this math, it can't be true because if you follow this math backwards, then what you start off with is this Big Bang. And that name stuck, and it turns out he was wrong.
But yeah, originally when all that stuff started getting studied, they were trying to find, all from the Victorian age and stuff forward, they were trying to find evidence of biblical history. And they ended up finding other stuff.
They ended up finding the opposite, yeah. And one of my favorite things about another favorite thing of mine that a biblical scholar discovered was the man who basically laid down, and I use this term in its punniest possible way, who laid down the foundations of modern geology, was out there looking for evidence of the flood.
Yep, it's true.
And he came to the conclusion that it did not happen.
Yep.
And also, geology is a lot more interesting than I thought it was.
Yep.
He was the first guy, I think, to come up with the idea of stratigraphy in the way that they did it.
Well, and didn't he find like fossils of shell animals up on the top of a mountain, stuff like that?
I think the shell animals were already known, and that's one of the things that people said, oh, it must have been a flood, put all the shell animals up here.
Right.
That's
and he was like, no.
No, it's like, it's like you figured out that there are layers, and the ones on top have
Cory.
to be. Hey, dude.
Hey, you made it.
Yeah, sorry. I was at an event and I got home and just passed out and totally did not set my alarm. So I apologize.
Well, we figured something had happened.
Not a problem.
Kurt, Jeff was saying early on that you basically you just didn't like us anymore, and I was like, no, if that was the case, he would have told us. He would have been like, you guys are losers, and I'm out of here.
Big L.
So it's something else.
Yeah, it was my narcolepsy kicking in and not waking me up in time to be on time.
That's okay.
Well, glad you're okay. We were starting to get a little worried.
We did get worried that something had happened, but
yeah,
we're glad you're okay.
Fortunately, what had happened was sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sleep good.
The land of Nod.
Yay. Well, I've just been fishing this whole time and chattering. Chatter, chatter, chatter.
Yeah, and I'm trying to make money in the auction house, which is...
He's gambling.
Yeah, I'm gambling. What can I say?
I'm collecting a lot of Borean leather. I'm going to have to actually, I can just open up the guild bank from here and drop it in.
Oop.
Wait till I get a few stacks from it. I mean, right now I've got 5.5 stacks, I think. I don't know how much you need, but it's going to be more than that.
Oh, I need so much.
Well, my alt is a leather worker, and she's on the same level. So she's like, that's why I took the stuff out of the vault, was because I was leveling the same thing you are. Twinkety, twinkety. Clinkety, clinkety.
Ugh, I still have a temperature.
That's not good.
Yes. I mean, you have to have some temperature, otherwise you're dead.
That's no wonder I'm still pretty uncomfortable because I got a temperature. It's a low fever, but it's still a fever. 99.9 degrees. Aw, my little chihuahua is sneezing behind me. Which is sad for him because he's sneezing and he's uncomfortable, but dog sneezes are so cute.
Not if they have snot.
Yeah.
Netta? Nah. Achoo! What's the matter, bud?
I like the fact that for dogs, sneezing is a form of greeting.
Yeah, that's true.
So is passing the slobber, but hey, you know.
Well, one of the first things my dogs will do when I get home at the end of the day is I'll walk in and they'll bark, 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 bark till they get close to me. Then they'll stop and sneeze.
Yeah. Now let's see. Where do I have to go to get this recipe? Oh, I don't think I can get it. I think that was what the issue was.
So I switched to working at a hospital table on a daybed because I can sit up for longer with the problems I have with the fibro. And so I don't sit at a regular desk anymore. So I have a backrest, and I put a bunch of pillows behind it to keep me propped up during the day when I'm working. Well, my little dog is on top of the pillows behind me at the moment. So
I picked up something. Sorry.
he's being cute.
I picked up something our glyph people will like. Discovers a book of glyph mastery. Requires inscription 425, but discovers a glyph recipe unique to this book. I will put that in the bank when I'm done.
Well, that would be Cory.
Yeah, I think Cory's the one
He's a
that's doing.
glyph person.
Yep.
I'm at that point where I'm kill something, throw away the junk. Kill something, throw away the junk because I need to make more room for leather.
People bought my solid stone. Woohoo.
There you go.
I've got that part of the fever where you have, when you're sweating, so you're super cold, but you're also hot.
Yeah.
Like you
Jerry
don't wanna
Lewis
put a
says,
blanket on
hot,
because
you're
you're
hot.
too hot, but you're actually freezing.
I'm gonna do a bio break. I'll be right back.
we got enough people to run now.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I'm going to go swap to my main, and then I think we'll take a quick 7-minute break, and then we'll be back.
Well, it will be the magnificent 7-minute break.
The Magnificent Seven, yes. Let's see. Back to Turlock.
Bio break.
Yeah, I gotta see if my Stream Deck is still not working or not. Let's see. Yep, it's still not working. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, I think we're back. I hope we're back. Hope everything's working. It's annoying because I'm having to control everything with the OBS, so I can't use my Stream Deck at all. It's not having anything to do with the OBS, so I got to figure out what's going on with that. Not happy.
Present me your staff.
All right.
That we may endow it with great power.
What do we want to do tonight, guys? Besides...
Random dungeon.
Murder 8.
Yeah, can we do randoms, or we still gotta pick and choose?
No, we can do random, but it's just, do we want to do Lich King, which only has 2 options, or Burning Crusade, heroics? I think we get better gear out of Lich King, but
whose essence you have generously born has chosen this
Have we already run the
Yes.
2 for Lich King?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it'd be repeats of those.
and
Yep.
companionship to you.
I
We
think we've
have
run-
not done. We have not done both Lich King ones that we have available because we haven't done Pinnacle. We
Well,
did.
the two that we have available are Utgarde Keep and the Nexus.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. I thought you meant the two inside Utgarde.
Oh, yeah,
Castle
no, we
or
haven't.
whatever.
Yeah, we haven't done everything Lich King. But those are the two that are available to us right now.
Well, I'm happy to do Nexus again if you want, because it has plenty of leather in there. There's also good gear in there for everybody, but Utgarde's also good. So,
I'm open
Yeah.
for either.
yeah.
All right, well, I'll hit random Lich King and we'll do that.
So there is someone over here who keeps bouncing up and down. I have no idea who it is, but they're like trying to get my attention for something.
Well, when you
It's like-
disappear into a dungeon, they won't be able to.
Yep, exactly. It was funny. I've had a couple of people who've actually like popped on into the game that I was playing and like come and assaulted me in the game. It's been fun. So it's like, yeah, that's why I'm doing this, so I can get to meet people and do
Here
stuff like that.
is. Wait a second.
Oh, let me do my
Food.
thing.
Great feast for everyone.
Cool. Coolio. And I'll pop open a Ritual of Souls here in a sec.
I've got all sorts of elixirs if anybody wants any.
Yes.
If you have any Mighty Fortitude, then that'd be cool.
Don't know that I have any.
There should be some in the bank.
Okay.
Mighty Fortitude in the bank.
Thank
I
you,
put
sir.
some in there.
Clicky, clicky, please. Una más? There we go.
Thank you.
Get stoned, people.
Everybody must get stoned.
I'll be there in a second. I'm currently trading, giving everyone candy.
Thank you.
Want some candy, little boy?
I've got
Oh,
mighty-
ugh.
I have spell power, mighty thoughts. I got mighty dex or mighty agility. Yeah, looks like I don't have anything terribly useful.
Boop.
Okay, so what does this food thing do?
Cory, I have a enchant I would like to do for your shield. Let me...
Okay.
Major Stamina. So let me get your shield. Not that.
Okay.
Do I need to hit trade or?
Watch out.
Okay.
Did I get it? There we go. Did you get it?
Receive some 8 plus 18 stamina.
Cool. I also have Enchant Boots Fortitude, if you would like that.
Sure.
Enchant boots 4 to 2.
Yes.
So I do have the ability to make mighty fortitude. I just kind of skipped over it.
Cool and groovy. Let's see what else. I got major armor for your cloak. I think that's all I've got at the moment.
Yeah, we can try that.
Okay. Okay.
I've got Borean armor kits if you want them, Cory.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just give them to you. How do I trade, please? Here we go.
Sweet.
Oh, I do have an elixir of mighty fortitude. No, this is mighty thoughts. Never mind. Same color.
What'd you say? Mighty socks?
Thoughts. Mighty thoughts.
Oh.
Mighty thoughts.
Oh, I did have one major fortitude. I've been using it.
All buck. Ready?
Yep.
Mhm.
I don't even know you people.
What are mechanics?
Mechanics? What's that? Is that so when it works on your car?
This guy named Mike, he's a mechanic.
Yes.
Ooh,
Good
hopefully
albums.
I'll get exalted with Darnassus tonight so I can get a kitty cat.
Oh, I should check my reputation. Classic. Darnassus, yeah. Hey, I'm close too.
Classic.
Oh, you got a whole ton that time.
Oh, I am exalted in Ironforge. I can go get a goat.
Ooh.
And
Goat
another
on
tavern. Goats on goats. Sounds just wrong somehow.
Sometimes you feel like a goat.
Sometimes you don't.
Told you I've been watching all these 1980s General Hospital episodes.
Yeah.
It's making
with
me really
commercials?
nostalgic for the age of telephones, newspapers, and alarm clocks.
And polyester.
No, not in the 80s.
I was thinking about that last
Polyester
night.
was gone by the 80s.
If there was ever a forgettable period in fashion, it had to be the 70s and 80s.
Not really. 70s had a lot going for it fashion-wise, and so did the 80s. The 80s had a lot of replay of the 40s, in a way, especially in the
Shoulder
early
pads.
80s. Yeah. Hats. Ladies' hats, and a lot of the women's haircuts in the early 80s are extremely reminiscent of wartime hairstyles.
I think fashion
Let's not build on it.
ultimately runs afoul of the fact that there's only so many ways you can make clothes that are workable.
So now they make clothes that aren't workable.
Yeah, but I can tell the difference between a 40s suit and an 80s revival, you know.
Yeah.
I certainly didn't like the later 80s with the Flashdance Olivia Newton-John era, but the early 80s is actually pretty classy. And a lot of the 70s were alright too, as far as the dresses and stuff. Men's fashion kind of was a little clunky during that time, but the women's were not that bad. That lady on the Bob Newhart show always had pretty good dresses.
Suzanne Plachette?
Yeah. she was always wearing what people were wearing. Like, she was pretty up to date, you know? It's really easy to be judgmental when we look back, but it's also, we have to remember when it was current at the time, you didn't even think twice about most of this stuff. Like the men's haircuts in General Hospital make me really smile because they've got these feathered, you know, slightly longer cuts. They're not long hair, but they're not short hair anymore either.
Right. You
And
have blow dry.
Yeah, and the older men. But Jeff, your hair is still kind of like that, honey. You know?
Yes, I know.
Yeah. You're like, this style worked for me when I was 15, and it still does now.
Because
It
he still
does. It
has
looks
hair
good on.
that can do it with.
It's true. It's true. It's true. But yeah, the
Just
older
now I
men on
don't-
the
I
show
don't
still
blow
have
dry
the
any longer.
1960s
Yeah.
short sort of bubble hairstyle. That was a big deal, like a big thing for, I call it Democrat hair, because, you know, it's the hair of the Democrats in the 80s. That sort of neat bubble on the top. It's actually still a short hairstyle, but and then the older ladies, like the ladies that are in their 40s and above, are still wearing the hairstyles that they wore in the 60s, you know. 30s and 40s, that they're still wearing the hairstyles that they wore in the 60s and the late 50s. And those are the hairstyles that I now associate as old lady hairstyles. But they're not old lady hairstyles. They're just hairstyles that ladies wore when they were young and didn't update.
See, now, also, people used to, you know, kind of chow on the ladies that had the purple hair, and it's like, now purple hair is like, you dye your hair purple. Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone thinks you're cool.
exactly. Yep. Well, the hairdo I have now is the same one that I had when I was 15.
Without
And I'm
the braid,
sure-
yes.
Yeah, without the rat tail. And I'm sure some young kid would be like, "Oh, that's a really old-fashioned hairstyle," you know. What kind of it is? Just because it was kind of punk, new wave, whatever at the time, doesn't mean that it's not outdated now. It probably is. But I didn't want what I consider to be a mom cut, you know. Meaning I didn't want to look like my own mother. Turn that knob, please.
Alright. I
It's
forgot.
actually not doing that much damage to us right now, but
As long
I
as you're
seem to
not,
have
as long as you're not a melee right standing right in front of them. The bad breath doesn't hit
You're
you
not
very hard.
tanking as a warlock.
It has
The incredible
bad breath.
tanking warlock.
Yeah.
Bad breath. Why don't you brush your proto-drake's teeth?
What'd you say?
Vet
Proto
is going
what?
to be really mad. The proto-drake, the owner of the proto-drake, doesn't brush their drake's teeth. And the veterinarian's really going to get on their case.
It's true.
It's too far away.
But who are we kidding? The proto-drake handler doesn't look like he brushes his own teeth, really, so...
He uses bark.
He chews on bark.
Yeah.
Go down.
Yes, but bark was eventually replaced in the market because bark was worse than bite.
That's still recharging.
Of the rock nature.
I need to target something first.
I mean, we are in North Randeth.
I don't have a target.
Well, we're not taking that much damage, so I guess I better help with some DPS. Lazy healers.
I need to target something first.
Hang on. Oops. Well, never
Sorry.
mind.
Sure.
I'm hanging on to you, bro.
But I wanted to tank. Down
Stop
to the wand.
absorbing my shit.
All right, I need a lollipop up.
You need to do what with your lollipop?
How many licks does it take to get to the center?
All of them.
No, the answer is 3.
One,
1,
two,
2,
A 2.
crunch.
a 3. Crunch.
Crunch. It was Professor Owl.
Yep.
In the commercial. He had to tell us how many licks it was. Let's see. I was on my Reddit General Hospital thing today, or yesterday, whenever. Not important. I was like, does anybody remember the bad guy called Anthony Hand? Because I just noticed today that he sounds exactly like the little dude called Lefty in Sesame Street that was always trying to sell Ernie a letter O or whatever.
You want to buy an O.
Hey, mister, do you want to
All right,
buy
party
a letter
time.
O? A letter O? Shh! And a whole bunch of people were like, oh my god, he does sound like him! That's the best thing ever! Ah, my tank assist macro got lost. Hold on, I need to find it. I moved some things on my bar and my tank assist macro got unclipped to the bar somehow.
Hmm.
Assist tank, here we go. Okay. Let's kick some vampire butt. Vampire elf. Yeah, the sanguinaire. They're kind of vampy. Vampire elves. Group of skellies.
Frozen. Yeah.
Help me get... I'm in a frost tomb too. You guys have to get the frost tombs off of us.
How do we do that?
You
Get the
you
frost
attack
tomb.
the frost tomb.
So it's a
Bless it.
frost tomb contest.
Yeah. No
Ha ha
kidding.
ha. It is. True.
All right.
That's a
Cool.
49% for me.
Grab it.
All right. I give up. It's 24 for me.
It was a bunch of item levels, but nothing else for me.
All right.
I need to target something first. I need to get closer.
I was just in here on retail and my hunter the other day doing
There's log runs.
Lunar Festival Elders. And the Lunar Festival Elder is like all the way down near the end of the deal, so
So I'm going to need that. It is 496 upgrade for me.
There you go.
do it.
There you go.
I just greeted it for appearance.
Yeah, so did I, but need will win, right?
Yep.
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 And it's a green item which we can trade if you accidentally got it from somebody. How far am I on reputation from getting Darnassus? So close, you guys. 19,990 out of 2,100.
21,000.
21,000, yeah. Yes. It's very close. Wow.
I didn't say
Hey,
anything
listen
to you.
here, jerk. He's like,
Wow.
what did you say to him, dude?
Yeah, it was
Something
Not
about
very
his
nice.
mother.
Mama wears army boots. I don't know.
Yeah. What were you wearing? What were you wearing when you were out in the dungeon?
You know what, though, Crow? His mom probably does wear army boots.
Does your mom wear appropriate military footwear?
Yes.
Oop, that's not what I wanted.
That's a nice random crit heal for no reason.
Yeah, I hate it when you get the crits when you don't need them and you don't get them when you do need them. Someone's gonna go get some ore.
Or
Chink, chink, chink.
Who else is a miner besides me?
I'm way too old for that shit.
No one. Nobody in the group. I don't think. Cory, are you a miner?
Nope.
Yeah, you're
I have to do the flowers.
right. That's right. That's right. Flowers go with scribing stuff, because you can make inks out of them. I was thinking of jewel crafting.
That's
You
me.
know what? I put my hunter that I'm gonna main this time. I put him on engineering for just the fun of it. Just making the little dumb stuff that comes with engineering. That's all.
it is fun.
Toys and all that kind of stuff. Because I'm raiding and the gear that you can make in your professions is really still not better than what comes in the drops, so why bother? I mean, there's
Icy orb
probably
of stamina.
it's probably if you're doing like mythic raiding and stuff, it's probably crafting. There are crafted pieces that can be helpful, but I think at the level that we're doing, not so much.
You mean
I
we're
might
not
be
going to
wrong.
be mythic?
No, I mean my guild, not
Oh.
us, not us as a group. We're not raiding in this group.
Yeah, you're not important enough, Crow.
I guess not.
Well, I don't know if that's it. I think he's just not playing retail. He could come and raid with us nerds anytime he wanted to.
I gotta keep an eye on your Discord so I can see when you guys are active.
Yeah. Usually it's Saturday night is 6:30 Mountain Time is open raid for everybody with the appropriate item level and higher. Because it's a social guild. Their serious raiding activities for the guild are on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I think they're clearing mythic stuff right now. There's a Lunar Fest guy behind us that we want to talk to when we're done killing this dude. That'll help you get the achievement on the dungeon Lunar Elders. Loony Elders.
Looney Tunes. Jarton Farton Elder. Okay.
I have a coin of ancestry.
And a lucky red envelope.
You can buy things with the coins of ancestry. I've got all the things that they sell now in retail. But I don't have any of the things they sell over here, so I might do some Lunar Festival things on one of my alts over here. Do it on Mirror Universe Peepadeep.
So is the Mirror Universe Peepadeep evil?
Well, wouldn't she be good? Because regular Peepy Deep is pretty evil already.
So
So.
I guess that was the question: is which way are we going with the
Yeah.
mirrors?
Yeah. Well, she has pink hair. Regular Peepy Deep has green hair.
Well, that makes all the difference.
It does.
Yeah, I don't know if it does or not. I'm just saying that's the only difference I can think of. Oh, and she's got the old style animation. So she's got that cute little China doll face. The new graphics she has, I think the gnome faces are, I mean, they're still really cute. They just don't have that, little doll look to them anymore. It's totally fine because dolls are evil. But
Dolls
I
can
don't
be
have
creepy.
a problem with that with Peep because she's kind of evil. So
I heard about a place today that would give you the absolute creeps.
oh
An
yeah.
island of dolls near Mexico City.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, apparently the legend is that well, we know there was something wrong with the monk that lived there, or the father who lived there.
Oh
He
gosh.
played with dolls.
No, the story he told was that he encountered a little. He basically found the drowned kid, and her ghost told him that she wanted her dolly, and the ghost wouldn't
Hey,
leave him
there's a World
alone.
of Warcraft quest that does that.
Yep.
Yeah, possibly from the guy.
Anyway.
So he spent like 17 years collecting every doll he could find, and a lot of them were broken and messed up, and they're all just there on the island and
Oh, that's great.
tucked in. Yeah, people, it's like freaking weird.
That
It's
sounds like a
creepy.
lovely place to get murdered.
Yeah.
You trust me, if there's dolls involved, there's murder also. Dolls like to murder people. And the only thing you can do about it is you can turn their faces to the wall. And also you should have a teddy bear, which is also a lot of protection against murderous dolls.
I have an entire role-playing game about that.
Just jump into the fray.
I ran a role-playing game about that years ago. It was based around a doll museum that I went to in Texas, or didn't go to, but the town that it was in, the dying town in Texas we drove through had a doll museum. And there was, this was a game I ran at con. You might have even been at the table, I don't even remember.
I don't
It was
remember
the
this
one and only horror movie or horror game I've ever run, I think. Like, not vampire, just horror.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just yucky, stabby things and fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Death.
Wise Dagger of the Elder. Don't need it.
Nor do I.
I'm greeting for appearance.
Arm Blade of Augustine. Also don't need it.
And
Fist
I
blade.
greet that one
Fist
for
weapon.
appearance. I can use fist weapons. I probably won't on heal and spec, but it'd be nice to have it if I ever do a melee shaman. Have the appearance available.
Melee Shaman.
Melee shaman.
I'm your melee shaman. Get Judas Priest involved here.
Please don't squeeze the shaman.
Please don't squeeze the shaman. The shaman will kick you.
And they have sharp, pointy hooves.
Whoa, Hector's having a dream. He's barking in his dream. You know how dogs do that dream bark where they kind of... Oof, oof. Like you can tell in their dream they're barking. They're in
tearing it up.
reality. In reality, they're just going... Ink, ink, ink.
What are you sacked out in here? He's just like thunk.
I had,
Well, it's 9:30, so the dogs are like, why are we all awake?
I had Flap laying on my
Their
shoulder
time.
this afternoon. He started, in between drooling, he started snoring in my ear too.
Cat snoring is the cutest. Oh my god.
It's like, it's like, dude, really?
I wonder, do birds snore? I know cats and dogs both do. We should ask Gordon.
I mean, yeah. I was trying to think. I know there's something. Yeah, I can't even guess.
Oops.
Oh, that's a male thing. That's a 223% upgrade for me. And nobody else wears that armor type, so I'm just gonna take it.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah. Great.
We'll let the tank finish killing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they say tanks for the memory.
Let's interrupt lunch.
I like how these wargs are like, oh, yes. Attack
Yeah.
you.
Fine.
That's what has to happen.
Oh my gosh, I just looked over at Hector because he's snoring. He's got his paw over his nose. Aw.
He's trying to
See, they're
stifle it.
They're adapted to be cute even when they're asleep. Pretty darn clever.
Survival of the cutest.
We had hamburgers and fries tonight for dinner because we're lazy, and I had to share some of the fries with the dog. Just one. We only got one.
One fry, please.
One fry, please. I had brown sauce on my fries instead of ketchup. It was really good.
Brown sauce?
Yeah, it's like a
It's a
condiment
British thing.
people use. It's like, it's ketchup with, I don't know what they put in it. Worcester sauce or something?
Is it Worcester?
I'm not sure
Worcestershire?
exactly. I think it's got a tomato base, but it's a brown because it's got Worcester sauce in
I
it
could use a lollipop.
or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's it's actually it's pronounced Worcestershire. Yeah. Yes. But it's got that in it. Got something in it that makes it brown and it's tangy and delicious. You should try it. Everyone should try it. Tangy and delicious.
Yeah, that sounds good. I know Jennifer is always creeped out by the fact that I use that stuff in a couple of my recipes, and she's all like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because it makes it taste good."
Yeah. It's yummy.
And paint my face with your blood!
You say that.
I'll paint your face
Not
with
doing
my
shit with
blood.
anybody's face.
Don't get me. Ooh. Yikes.
You're supposed to run behind the thing, right?
Yep.
No, it's messy.
My life for the dead
Okay.
god!
He's gone once.
He'll be back again.
Yep. His mom comes down and rails on him. You worthless son.
You are damned. Arise and
Get up
carry
off
out
your
the
butt
master's
and
will.
do what I told you to. Lazy lout.
A second chance to carve your skull!
Hey, let's see. I should probably.
Oops. I did not hide well enough.
I forgot to hero. I need to start remembering to hero in boss fights now that I have it.
I can do
I dinged.
Ding-a-ling,
I'm level
ding-a-ling.
73.
Ooh, nice axe.
I'm a dingling.
Two-hand.
I cannot use axe.
I'm a
I
ding-a-ling.
will pass on axe.
I will pass. That is a beautiful tanking axe. Actually, it's not. It's a ret axe, really.
Yeah.
Because it's two-hand.
Yeah, red axe or
Yeah, or a
arms.
shaman. Yep. It's not for tanking.
Adventuring
But it is-
supplies.
It is for people that want to maybe have an off-spec as a ret pally. Somebody like you, Cory. You never know.
Yep.
don't know
Okay, I
any
guess
other
we're outta
pallets
here.
around here. So, right. Are we? Let's see.
I think we're done.
Yep.
Leave
done
the
with that
instance
one.
group.
Let's see, I need 12 distance points. Yahoo!
What can I get for you today? Watch your back.
All right. I have repaired and sold my crap. And actually found somebody who wants to buy my stuff off the auction house. Yay.
I'm gonna throw a bunch of fish into the guild bank if you guys want to use it to level your cooking.
Make sure that you get those fish, frozen quickly, otherwise they'll start to stink up the place.
Oh, I froze them with my shamany powers. Don't worry about it.
Gotta be armor around here.
Wow, the bank's getting kind of full, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's time to go in and sell a bunch of that stuff. Anyway. Fish for everybody to help level your cooking. Go in and look and see if you can use it.
Oh. You know you're old when you turn your head too quickly and your neck snaps.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I does that all the time, dude.
So you're old. So
I
we've
am.
confirmed this.
How are you?
I could be close to ancient, as far as you know.
I just assumed you were close to ancient.
Good assumption.
Did I get anything for my level? I don't think so.
Oh, I have a talent point to spend.
Yeah, I need to look at that
See
too.
you later.
Me too.
Talents. A talent. But I don't know how I want to spend
I do
it.
have one unspent point.
That's my arms warrior. That's a hunter. That's my arcane mage. How about... There we go. Okay, what am I doing? Dark arts. Ooh. Sounds interesting. Oh, I started to do
And I got
improve corruption. I should probably do that. Yes. Okay.
I got to stop being the nice guy when I go donate blood. The last 2 times I've gone, they've asked if they could have a trainee do it with me,
Yeah.
and I've said yes.
Oh.
And
And how's your arm feel today?
I have the largest bruise on my elbow.
What are they taking? What are they taking blood out of your elbow for?
Well, that's where the vein is that they like.
Ouch.
Inside
of the elbow, not the outside of the elbow.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
He was thinking the outside of the elbow. I could hear it in his
Yeah,
voice.
well, it's funny. It's funny blood, you know. So.
I got to get myself a different tabard.
Yeah, where do you get tabards? I'm in Dalaran. Where the hell would I find a tabard
We've
here?
been expecting you.
From the quartermaster.
Yeah.
You are to be congratulated for your
The
success in
Dalaran
the finals.
quartermaster.
Let's see if I can find him.
But praise alone will not suffice.
Should be up there by the
We owe you a great deal for the part
Gilneas
you have
one, up
played
by
in
the
destiny
flight
of our
master
flight.
at the very front of the city.
Present me your staff, that we may endow it with great power.
That's kind of an interesting thing to train is mass dispel magic. Huh. That could come in handy. Up by the flight master, huh?
Yeah, there should be the Darnassus quartermaster there, along with the Gilneas.
Oh, I need to get honor points for this shit. Okay. I'm like, what the hell?
Whose essence you have generously
Do I have any honor points? I have
has chosen this staff as
11
her
honor
permanent
points,
home.
apparently.
May her presence be a source of comfort and companionship to you.
We're gonna try another one.
Yeah, I'm just trying. Hold on a minute. I'm trying to figure out
Okay.
where in the. Where's the quartermaster that I'm looking for in Stormwind? I know I should know this.
Quartermaster for what?
To get it, just like our tabards for rep.
Oh, by
She's
the front.
on a horse where the stairs lead up to the flight master
Huh.
at the
Okay.
front of the city.
I thought.
I'm not seeing
okay.
the one here in Darnassus. So.
There we are. No, she's got the Stormwind stuff. I actually need something else. I guess I have to go to the city where I want to get the thing from, don't I?
Yes. So what are you
That's
looking
going
for?
to take a while.
Yep. She's right next to the Gilneas quartermaster. I just checked on the map.
Okay.
The one in
I'm losing my
Darnassus,
damn mind.
when you go inside the little tent that zones you into the city, if you go to your left, there's a flight master on the inside, and we never use that flight master because it takes longer. But there's a horse standing there with a Gilneas quartermaster, and then the flight master to her right. If she's looking at you, it would be stage right, and then the Darnassus quartermaster is directly to the. As you're looking, it's Darnassus quartermaster, flight master. Her name is Leora, and then the Gilnean quartermaster.
I'm in a different flight area then, because I'm at Krause's Landing. Is that where you
Yeah,
talking?
you want to go inside the city. Inside the city. Go through the little tent that brings you inside Darnassus.
A tent? I'm in a city.
You know that little pink tent? That little pink tent from the outside when you walk up from Lutheran Village?
Oh, you're no, I'm in no, I'm in Dalaran. I'm sorry, not Darnassus.
Oh, I thought you were asking about Darnassus.
Yes, I probably was.
You were.
Dalaran. I got to figure out how to
Oh.
find Dalaran.
I don't think there is a Dalaran quartermaster. There's not a Dalaran rep. There's
rep
there?
for
What
the mages there, right?
Yeah, the Kirin Tor.
Yeah.
Well, here's the Legacy Justice Quartermasters. Silver Covenant.
What rep are you trying to get?
Oh, anything, because all I've got right now is I'm getting guild rep.
Oh, well, you should start with the classics first, and then...
I used to have a Stormwind one, I thought.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Stormwind. So I gotta start working on Darnassus or Ironforge is what I gotta work on.
Gilneas too, because they give you horsies.
Gilneas? Does they?
Mm. Yeah, they have 2 different horsies or 3 different horsies. There's Stormwind horsies, and then there's Gilnean horsies.
Ah.
The Gilnean ones don't have saddles.
I'm only neutral with Gilneas.
There's wild horsies.
I would have to get all the way over to Darnassus. So I guess I gotta go to the boat.
Well,
First, I've got to get unlost. When I'm flying around, everything looks the same. I have no idea where the fuck I am.
Ooh, glyph of water walking. I don't need fish oil anymore.
We've been expecting you.
It's nice.
Wow.
You are to
Any one of these dock
congratulated
masters will
for
send you
your
to
success
Valiant's
in the
Keep, which is
fire
not
race.
where I want to go. Guess I gotta actually wait
But
for the
praise
boat.
alone will not suffice. We owe you a great deal for the part you have played in the destiny of our flight. Present me your staff,
Greetings.
that we may endow it with great power.
Go with honor, friend.
Finally,
Can I help?
Terragosa, our beloved sister whose essence you have generously borne, has chosen this staff as her permanent home.
so when is Legion supposed to drop?
May her
Ah.
presence be a source of comfort and companionship to you.
I mean, Pandaria is next, so...
Oh, is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Pandaria is next.
We unleash pandemonium.
And that's coming
Which we
up.
just did remix, so that's sort of.
See you around.
Yeah.
Here cometh the boat.
But speaking of buying all
What's on
the
your mind?
special things for the limited time thing event, I did get everything but the last, but 4 of the mounts for the Plunderstorm stuff.
Oh, nice. No, I
Yeah.
haven't even touched it.
I was surprised at just how fast I was earning stuff.
Cool.
Because they give you like these little mini quests to go on while you're doing it, which earns you extra plunder to buy stuff with.
Nice. Well, I tell you what, you guys, I think that might be it for me tonight. I still have a fever and I'm feeling pretty rotten, so I don't think I want to go for a second turn.
All right, fair enough.
All right,
Would you like
fair
to
enough.
something?
And sorry again, I was late, guys. I'm
No, it's
Okay.
okay. It
kind
happens.
of embarrassed by that.
No worries. Okay, I think we're gonna call it for the night, folks. Yeah. So kind of laid back stream tonight. That's cool. I appreciated that. If I don't see you before the next time I see you, have a good day. Have a good afternoon. Have a wonderful evening. I love you all. Thanks for stopping by, and I shall see you soon. Bye now.